I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor.
Very, very rocky.
Death by government.
Drain the swamp.
Hello and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor. This week, the egg bubble has burst. I repeat, the egg bubble has burst. Although the nation is waiting to see if the American banking system will collapse a la 2008, there was some good news recently. Annual eggflation eased in February. According to fresh data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, egg prices surged 55% year over year and fell nearly 7% on a month-over-month basis. Right now, the national average price for a carton of dozen eggs is $4.21, down from $4.82 in January. Egg prices have seen a dramatic spike in recent months, driven by rising demand, a highly contagious and deadly avian flu that wreaked havoc on global supplies, a labor shortage in the industry, and weather events. That said, this is much needed relief for a country that has witnessed food prices spiral out of control. Of course, this does not mean inflation is over. The latest Consumer Price Index report found that food prices are still 9.5% up from the same time a year ago and rose 0.4% from January to February. In addition, supermarket prices are still up more than 10% and jumped a monthly basis of 0.3%. Restaurant prices are also up 8.4% year over year and 0.6% month over month. So sure, the growth in egg prices might be slowing, but other food items have seen a revival of the upward price trend. For example, as Liberty Nation has reported, beef and veal has tumbled 1.4% from a year ago. However, the category has been steadily rising every month since the end of last year. In February, beef and veal prices jumped 0.6% and 1.1% in January. Or, as another exhibit of prolonged food inflation, fish and seafood climbed 1.5%. From bananas to potatoes, fruits and vegetables have also started climbing again. Walmart's US CEO John Furner may have said it best, quote, "Food inflation has been the most stubborn of all the categories. With more Americans struggling to make ends meet and many relying on credit cards to pay for the grocery bill, how are consumers coping exactly?" A recent report from Coresight Research suggests that 20% of consumers are turning to the dollar stores to purchase their groceries. At an age where a buck buys a nickel's worth, these are the drastic changes that households must experience to survive in an inflationary and even perhaps recession economy. Meanwhile, at a quick look at the broader Consumer Price Index, the annual rate slowed to 6%, core inflation, which excludes the volatile food and energy sectors, eased slightly to 5.5%, and on a month-over-month basis, the CPI and core CPI rose 0.4% and 0.5% respectively. Ultimately, the current landscape is not all it's cracked up to be. Real wages are still in negative territory, inflation remains elevated, the country could be on the brink of a banking collapse, and geopolitical tensions remain hot. Well, at least you have received a discount on the dozen eggs at your nearby supermarket. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column on the pages of LibertyNation.com, where I discuss the Federal Reserve bailing out banks and foreign depositors, the administration picking winners and losers, and abysmal economic data. Thank you.
Entertaining, informative, and just plain fun. Watch Liberty Nation's The Conservative 5. Produced by conservatives for conservatives. C5's The Left Free Zone. Hosted by Liberty Nation's Lisa K. Donner. Joined by a raucous, irreverent panel of authors. Deconstructing leftist narratives. Debating the hot topics. And remembering to laugh. Join the official conservative safe space.
You only did that to piss Jeff off.
Liberty Nation's The Conservative 5.
I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor.
Very, very rocky.
Death by government.
Drain the swamp.